Good morning, everyone on YouTube. I'm just setting up the live stream for Instagram. Good morning, everyone on Instagram. We're live on YouTube as well and on Zoom. And this morning, we're going to have a really chilled morning. It's Friday. Hopefully, you've got that Friday feeling and you want to hopefully chill out with me because maybe you've had a long week. Maybe you felt like you haven't stopped. So this morning, we're going to relax and everything is going to be on our back. So make sure you're comfortable. I've got a blanket because it's super cold. I recommend putting a cushion under the head and maybe under the knees as well. But make sure that you can wiggle around until you find a position that feels really good for you. So lying on your back this morning. And as I said, I've got a blanket. And you might have the palms facing up or resting on the rib cage or belly. And if it feels good for you, softly closing the eyes, knowing that you can open them at any point. Perhaps picking the hips up and placing them back down. The same with the head, allowing the back of the head to rest down. Opening the jaw, maybe taking a yawn. Oh. Allowing all the facial muscles to soften. Fingertips and toes are relaxed. Maybe even smiling to yourself, knowing it's Friday. No matter what you've experienced this week, you've made it to the end of the working week. For some of us, some people might be working on the weekend. Knowing that if you're working on the weekend, that you're going to be building energy this morning. Bringing awareness to the breath. Does it feel like you've got a sleepy breath? Maybe it feels calm already. Or I know that some people wake up feeling anxious. So maybe it's a fast, shallow breath. And rather than changing anything, we're just observing. And this morning we're going to be doing our physiological sigh. So we did this once before. Andrew Huberman, he recommends this, neuroscientist from Harvard. And basically it decreases the heart rate and makes you feel so calm and at peace. And you don't need to do it many times. But what you do is you take 2 sharp inhales. The second inhale is slightly faster than the first inhale, and that's through the nose. You pause for a moment before letting a sigh out through the mouth. I always find that this is super relaxing. We're just going to be doing 3 rounds, but we're going to take about a minute or so between each round. So when you're ready, just take a normal breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And then 2 sharp inhales. And sigh out. Allowing the natural rhythm of the breath to come back. And as you begin to rest here, you might notice changes in the body and mind. You may already feel a sense of calm beginning to wash over you. Remembering that you don't have to do all 3 rounds. That as a yoga teacher, I'm just here to give you options. That you're the true teacher in your practice by listening intuitively to what your body needs and craves this morning. Let's go for round 2. So when you're ready, normal breath in and out. 2 sharp inhales and sigh out. Bringing awareness to any sensations that you might feel. Or perhaps no sensations at all. And for the final round today, I want you to really imagine that on the exhale, on that sigh out, you kind of feel like you've just got home. It's been a long day at work and you just want to come home, relax, sit on the sofa and unwind. You know that moment where you've just been so busy and finally get home and it's like pure bliss. So I want you to cultivate, imagine that feeling and emotion in your body, and then really enjoy the sigh out, maybe even add a sound to the sigh out as you release. So we're going to go for round 3. Normal breath in and out. 2 sharp inhales, pausing for a moment, and the blissful sigh out. Taking the jaw side to side. And then releasing. Once again, observing the body. Maybe it feels the same, or perhaps completely different. And then checking in with the mind. And I wanted to remind you that on the first week, if you didn't join us, on the first week, we were doing our affirmations. They're by John Diamond, who wrote Life Energy. And he uses the meridians to unlock the hidden power of your emotions. And I was saying how I've been using these since I was really young, but then Instagram banned my video. So I wasn't sure if it was the affirmations, but they've reinstated it. So it's all good, we're back up. So we're gonna use the affirmations again. And basically you repeat them in your mind's eye, word for word. You can imagine the words in your mind. You can imagine saying the words in your mind, but you have to believe them with clarity. And doing so, you need to bring the tip of your tongue gently to the roof of your mouth. So when you're ready, I'm going to say the affirmation and then you repeat it back in your head. I have love, faith, trust, gratitude, and courage. I am humble. I am tolerant. I am modest. I am happy. I have good fortune. I am cheerful. I reach out with love. I have faith and confidence in my future. I am secure. My sexual energies are balanced. I am clean and good. I am worthy of being loved. I renounce the past. I am generous. I am relaxed. I have forgiveness in my heart. I'm content. I am tranquil. I am buoyed up with hope. I am light and buoyant. I am jumping with joy. I am in harmony. I am at peace. I have love, faith, trust, gratitude, and courage. My life energy is high. I am in the state of love. We're going to be moving on now to our second part of our sequence this morning. And we're going to be doing our neural flossing. So this is also called nerve gliding, nerve flossing. And basically, sometimes our nerves get a bit stuck and then they're not gliding as properly as they should be. And this can cause pain, irritation, and it can also make us feel like no matter how much we stretch, we can't seem to get any more deeper or better at that stretch that we want to improve at. And sometimes it's our nerves actually stopping us. So what we do is we loosen and slacken the nerves, and then we tighten them. So we're trying to do the opposite, pull and then loosen. So we want to go for a 3 out of 10 sensation. So basically, as soon as you can feel the sensation, that's when you know that's enough for today. We don't want to overdo it. And I recommend just trying out how it feels. For example, you might feel no sensation, and perhaps that's because the nerve is already gliding and sliding as well as it should be. Or you might notice just a real strong sensation, then perhaps tone it down. Don't go to the full range of motion. So we're still lying on our backs. If you've got a blanket on, you'll just need to take it off now. Bending into the knees, placing the soles of the feet onto the ground. We're going to start the left side first. So tuck the hips underneath, place them down, extending the left leg up to the sky. Again, lifting the head, placing it back down. We want a slight tuck of the chin if you can. And this might be enough with the leg extended, or you might interlace the fingers behind the back of the leg. You're also welcome to lift the head off the ground at any point, bringing chin towards the chest because we want a rounded back. You can keep the head on the floor. We're going to be flossing the sciatic nerve, and we're going to go for the main branch to begin with. So to floss, we point the toes and then bring them back towards the face. So point and flex, point and flex about 15 times. You can also do this with the knee, keeping the foot flexed. You might bend and straighten the leg, keeping the knee facing to the center. Or the third option is you might use the head up and down, but that's quite a big movement. You might feel like you don't want that this morning. So just choose one that feels good. You might notice a sensation down the back of the whole leg. So about 15 times. So if you ever have sciatic pain, so kind of like that irritation or discomfort in the lower back, especially to one side, this can really help. So we're getting to the main branch to begin with. And you want to keep the breath slow. By keeping the breath slow, we're telling the brain and body that we're safe, that we can relax here, and then we can get our body to begin to do some work. And it might just feel like you're stretching, and that's also quite a similar sensation. Some people say it feels a little bit electric-y, but it is going to be slightly different for each individual. So once you've done that about 15 times, you don't need to be exact. We're going to work on another branch. So we're going to rotate the pinky foot, rotate the foot to the pinky sides by having that rotation to the side of the room. Knee is going to continue to face the center. And we're going to pulse again 15 times. So again, that might be the foot, that might be the knee, or the head. So you choose. If your head is on a cushion, that's probably even better because you can get a bit more rounding. Or you might not need that rounding. For me, I don't need it. So that's the sural branch of the sciatic nerve. Again, bring the awareness to the breath, keeping it slow, and then any sensations on the leg. So 15 times. 15 is our lucky number for these. Notice if you get fatigued quite quick. And for me, my hamstrings are quite tight. So if you are looking at the camera, you might notice that my leg is bent, but you want to try and straighten the leg if you're not pulsing at the knee. That's because you're just keeping it nice and active as well. Once you've done 15 times, come back to center, flex the toes. And then we're having big toe facing in, again, kneecap facing forwards, and pulse. So again, foot, knee, head. Try to keep the shoulders away from the ears. You might notice a juddery motion in the ankles. That's just your brain mapping that area if you're not used to using that range of motion. So don't be worried. Nothing's going wrong here. Completely normal. Making sure that you're not clenching the jaw and the rest of the body is relaxed. Once you've done that 15 times, absolutely, there's no rush, no haste, just gently releasing the foot down. Maybe even extending the legs for a moment, noticing how one side feels compared to the other. For example, my left leg now feels a lot longer and awake than the other leg. So we just want to even that out. So knees bent, lift the hips, place them back down. Extending right leg up to the sky, perhaps interlacing fingers behind the leg. Chin is slightly tucked. And then when you're ready, taking your pulsing. So we've got flexing the foot, pointing the toes, knee or head. But we're having toes facing in one line to begin with, so just straight ahead and then to the ceiling. And by straight ahead, I mean behind our head. Everything's always a bit different when we're lying down or upside down. So as before, our lucky number is 15. And if you've done this before, you might be pulsing quite quick. But it might feel nicer to go slowly. You might really notice the sensation when you tighten the nerve, when you flex into the foot. My tummy rumbled a bit there, so it must be nearly time for breakfast. So once you've done your 15, we're going to go to the sural branch. So again, pinky toe edge, we're rotating the foot out. Let's pulse 15 times. And some people don't like neural flossing because it is a little bit repetitive, but it really gets into those nerves that you probably don't often work out. And it's quite an easy thing to do. It's very reliable. You know what you're feeling immediately. So I really do recommend it. So every Friday, we're going to be doing neural flossing. I have a little plan that we do, and I'll share it with you guys on Instagram and Facebook. And I'll write it in the description on YouTube. So again, 15 times. Once you've done your 15, there's no rush, but we go back to the tibble branch. So we face the foot in and then to the big toe edge, pulsing for your 15. I must admit, the only thing that I don't do here is I usually don't end up counting. So I roughly guess how many I think I've done. And for the next part, we're still going, by the way, I'm just explaining what we're doing next for the next part. I'm just going to do it lying down. So there's no need to get up after this until we have to go to work and get on with our days. So once you've done 15, I think that's about 15 for me, releasing the leg down, maybe extending both legs, perhaps taking a stretch before finding stillness for a moment. And just becoming aware of any sensations in the legs, maybe even in the lower back. And then we're going to work through a super slow flow. So make sure you've got a little bit of room above your head and to your sides. So we're going to start with what I like to call banana stretch. Some people, I think, call it crescent moon, which sounds a lot more elegant. We're going to walk our feet, both of the feet, keeping the hips down to the left side of the mat. Arms reach above the head, and we reach the arms above, stretching, and then to the left side. Shoulders lift slightly, and then place them back down. Using the right hand, you grab hold of the left wrist as the left arm stays straight. You should be able to feel a nice stretch in the right side. And then we're crossing right foot on top of left foot, but keeping right hip bone down to the ground. So we basically look like a banana as we're stretching to one side. Breathing into the right rib cage if you can. And we're breathing in and out through the nose. Last 2 breaths here. And then slowly releasing arms back to center and then by your side, legs back to center by your side. Bend into the knees, place the feet on the floor. Cross left ankle, right thigh. Maybe use a left hand on the left knee. Just push it away to begin with so we can just help our body learn what we're supposed to be doing. Flex into that left foot. Option to stay here in our figure 4. Or perhaps you're lifting the right leg, grabbing the back of the right thigh. If you are, make sure the head and shoulders can relax down. Still flexing into left foot, right foot is nice and relaxed. Right knee faces up to the sky. And if I was there, I want you to imagine me pushing your left knee away from the body. Three more breaths here. And then if you've got right foot lifted, place it back down. Grab hold of the outside edge of the left foot. So we're coming into a half happy baby. Imagine left knee coming towards the armpit. I always think this is a bit of a contortionist pose, but it feels good. When I've been here a while, it doesn't always feel good to start with. And then we allow right knee to drop out to the side. Come onto the knife edge of the right foot. So we've got a half butterfly, half happy baby, 2 crazy things going on, 2 big hip openers. I like to place right hand on my belly to remind me to breathe here, even though this pose feels quite difficult. So again, face is soft. Focus on the breath entering the rib cage, in and out through the nose. We're here for 5 breaths. And you know what they always say about yoga teachers, that we've got these really slow breaths. And I think it's true. Because even if I'm doing a yoga class with another teacher and I think, oh my God, their breaths are so much slower than mine. I think it's usually because I'm not even counting my breaths. But if you're in a passive pose, you kind of want to stay there for about 30 seconds. so you can get the full extent of that stretch. So once you've done your 5 breaths, again, it's going to be different for everyone. I want you to extend the right leg down to the ground and then hug left knee into the chest. Point the left toes, try and get a left knee up to left shoulder. As right leg stays down, point the right toes. And then we're going to go for a twist here. So using your right hand on the outside edge of left knee, guide it across to the right side. Tuck that right hip underneath and allow the knee to drop down. It's probably not going to touch the ground, maybe it does. Open up left arm if you've got the space, if not, cactus the arm. Focus on left shoulder on the ground. Eyes look towards left side, even if they're closed, we'll just turn the head. So we can have a little bit of a twist in the cervical spine. Again, breathe into the rib cage and belly. Lovely. 2 more breaths. And then super slowly coming back to center, extend the leg down. And notice how one side of the body may feel differently to the other. Or as I said at the beginning, it might feel completely the same. And let's even that out and do this on the other side. So we're walking feet to the right side, arms to right side, stretching the arms above the head. I like to wiggle my shoulders more to the right side before grabbing the right wrist with my left hand. And then we cross left foot over right foot. Breathe into the left side body. We're here for a total of 5 breaths in your own time. So at any point you're welcome to come out. You don't need to take the full 5 breaths. Good job. And when you feel ready, we come back to the center of our mat. Uncross the feet, allow the arms to relax down. Coming back to our figure 4, bend into the knees, lift the hips, place them back down. Right ankle, left thigh. Flex right foot, gently pushing right knee away. Option to stay here, reach through, grab the back of the left thigh, but making sure, again, head and shoulders gently are resting down. You don't want to place a strain on the neck. I want you to focus on relaxing left foot, right foot is flexed. Right knee is moving away from us. Again, breathing in and out through the nose. Last 2 breaths. And then left foot gently drops down, staying here for 1 moment. Before grabbing with the right hand the outside edge of the right foot, right knee into armpit, option to stay here. Allow left knee to drop out to left side. Coming onto the knife edge of the left foot. So again, sorry, this is quite a big hip opener. So notice if you need to come out slightly. You can always walk the left foot further away from the body. With the right foot, I want you to imagine you're stamping the ceiling. So we're having this, losing my voice this morning. We've got a parallel line with the ceiling and the right foot. Nothing a bit of green tea can't fix. So we're in our last 2 breaths here. And then we come out of butterfly first by dropping left foot to the ground. We hug the right knee into the chest, point right toes. Left leg extends down to the ground, point left toes. Hug right knee to shoulder. And then we take our twist. Guide right knee to left side, tuck left hip under. Open right arm. Maybe you're cactusing the arm or extending it. Head twist to right side. Here for 5 breaths in total. We're just running 1 minute over now, so if you do need to rush off, please go ahead and do so. We're in our last 3 breaths here. We're here for 3, 2, and 1. Coming back to center, place the foot down, hug both knees in, bring chin and forehead up to knees. Give yourself a big squeeze into a tiny little boo. And then you're welcome to rest on the ground. Maybe you want to take a Shavasana this morning. I'm going to leave you guys as it is, and we're going to take 1 final breath together. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm really grateful for our little yoga community and our yoga practice today, and I hope you can join me again soon. Thank you so much to everyone on YouTube